Hello and welcome to Top Dog TV's Football News Roundup for 19th of January 2018. We start today in Scotland. The Scottish FA are now in talks with Northern Ireland manager Michael O'Neill. They have agreed a compensation package between themselves and the Northern Irish FA. All that remains now is to convince O'Neill to swap allegiance. However, O'Neill also has the offer of a 4-year contract extension to his current 2-year deal with Northern Ireland on the table. Will he want to leave the safety of his overperforming Northern Ireland team to join the underperforming Scotland? Will money talk or loyalty win the day? Barcelona's club captain and unofficial spokesman Gerard Piqué has agreed a new deal with the Catalan club. The 30-year-old is now tied to Barca until 2022 and his contract has a €500 million buyout clause as the club showed that they have learnt a lesson from Neymar's move to PSG. In Germany, Borussia Dortmund's sporting director Michael Zorc has hit out at Arsene Wenger, calling him disrespectful after the Arsenal manager talked publicly about how Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang would fit in at the Gunners. Zorc said, "We regard it as disrespectful that Arsene Wenger expresses himself about players of other clubs. There is no contact on our part with Arsenal. Arsene Wenger certainly has enough currently to deal with the performance of his own players." Now on to some heartwarming news from Leeds United in the Championship. Their players and staff have all come together to raise £200,000 for the life-saving cancer treatment of young Leeds fan Toby Nye. The youngster is fighting a rare strain of cancer, a stage 4 neuroblastoma, and the treatment is not currently available on the NHS, so Leeds raised the money to pay for the treatment. As well as generous donations from the fans, all the staff and players of the club donated one day's salary, even owner Andrea Radrizzani. That took the total to £175,000, and then Spanish playmaker Samuel Saiz stepped in to donate the final £25,000 needed to reach the target. Saiz may be serving a 6-match ban for spitting, but he's shown his heart is in the right place at least. In some more good news, this time for Chelsea fans, Andy Carroll has picked up yet another injury. The hairline fracture of his ankle is just the latest in a series of injuries that have blocked his career from going anywhere. Though one serious injury, received falling off a bar stool drunk late at night in a casino, didn't stop his move going through to Liverpool, so it's probably too early for Chelsea fans to really rejoice. In more Chelsea news, the agent of Roma right-back Emerson Palmieri has confirmed that stories that Chelsea have made a bid for his client are true. Fernando Garcia told Calcio Mercato that Emerson's Chelsea move is not a done deal yet. We are in talks with the club. We hope to finalise the deal soon. He also said that Emerson would love to work with Conte as he is a top manager. It does make you wonder about the future of Victor Moses and summer signing Davide Zappacosta though. Returning to Arsenal for a moment, Martin Keown has become the latest to reinforce the stereotype that footballers are not very bright. The former Arsenal defender has clearly already forgotten about Neymar Jr. when he hit out at Alexis Sanchez for being the biggest mercenary in football. Keown has hit out at Sanchez for his choice of moving now rather than waiting till the summer. He believes that it is all about the money that he's choosing to join Manchester United rather than waiting to join City in the summer. However, he does seem to have forgotten that Sanchez would earn a lot more if he left it until the summer when he would have no transfer fee to be paid out. Perhaps Keown is just unwilling to admit that Sanchez is willing to miss out on millions just so he can escape his beloved Arsenal. A bizarre story emerged this week when a Danish football podcast asked a former teammate of Sean Dyche, Søren Andersen, why he had such a gravelly voice. Andersen suggested that Dyche ate earthworms and that could be the source of his voice. Dyche has laughed off the story though and said that it was just a prank he played on Andersen pretending to eat earthworms and he never actually ate them. Rather disappointingly, Dyche also said he doesn't smoke exhaust pipes or have gravel for breakfast to get his voice the way it is. In further Premier League news, Liverpool have been given a double injury boost as both Jordan Henderson and Virgil van Dijk have returned to training ahead of the Monday night game against Swansea City. Both players have been suffering with hamstring problems. Van Dijk only missed one game against Manchester City, but Henderson has been missing for a month and his return will be a big boost. Far more exciting news comes from their rivals across in Manchester, Man United, who have unveiled their official tractor. Yes, you did hear that right, their official tractor, with Yanmar their official tractor partner, and it's not even April Fool's Day. Now we just have to wait and see what they come up with their official noodle partner. And yes, they really do have an official noodle partner. Returning to Arsenal news, and Emmanuel Adebayor, their former striker, has put the boot into Arsene Wenger as well. Adebayor even went as far as to say he hated Arsene Wenger but loved Jose Mourinho due to the differences in their honesty in dealing with him. Adebayor said, "As an example, I had a meeting with Arsene Wenger in his office when he told me I had to leave because he doesn't see my future anymore in Arsenal. I have to move on in my life. I was like, I'm going to stay." He's like, "No, there is not even a fight organised. We're not going to organise any fight for you. You move out or you stay here and don't play any games." So I didn't have any other choice than joining Man City, which I was very happy to join. And the next day when I joined Manchester City, I saw him doing a press conference in London, saying that I wanted to leave because the money was big and everything, and since that day, that is where the hate for Arsenal has come from. Adebayor also went on to praise Mourinho for doing whatever it takes to win, while saying that Arsene Wenger just wants to bring kids in and make them big players, and that he is like a teacher rather than a football manager. While Mike Ashley is saying there is no formal offer on the table for Newcastle United, Amanda Stavely denies that and says that she has left her offer on the table. Stavely represents a group called PCP Capital Partners, who have been having talks with owner Mike Ashley over the sale of Newcastle United to them. Stavely told The Times, "Our bid remains on the table. This is an investment, but it has to be a long-term investment. Newcastle will be run as a business, but we want it to be a successful, thriving business that is an absolutely integral part of the city." To be fair, it already is a successful business, as the profits of $900,000, despite relegation to the Championship last season, shows. And in some news that will cheer up Everton fans following their dismal run recently, Alan Pardew has admitted that they beat him to the signing of Theo Walcott. Pardew admits that the Baggies were priced out of any deal for Theo Walcott when Everton got involved. That just shows the level of the teams that were interested in him though. All a long cry from when he burst onto the scene at 16 with Arsenal after a move from Southampton. Now some bad news for Chelsea fans over injuries. Their young midfielder Ruben Loftus-Cheek has been on loan at Crystal Palace and played a huge part in their revival. His season recently has been derailed by an ankle injury. However, the injury is not responding to treatment. Roy Hodgson has said, "He may require surgery. The injury is more severe than we originally thought or perhaps hoped. It hasn't responded to conservative treatment, rest and massage. In a few weeks we will have to assess it again and we'll have to ask, is there a need for stronger intervention? His treatment is being handled by our doctor and the Chelsea doctor. They are making the decisions. We misled you initially by saying all he needed was to miss a couple of games and rest. It hasn't turned out to be the case." There was more bad news for Chelsea today after The Guardian revealed that FIFA are investigating 25 cases involving Chelsea's recruitment of players under the age of 18, though Chelsea deny any wrongdoing. If found guilty, they could face a transfer ban, similar to that handed out to Real Madrid, Barcelona and Atletico Madrid in the past. On to the League of Ireland, where Dundalk have been taken over by a group of American businessmen and an investment company, Peak Six. Back in 2012, owners Paul Brown and Andy Connolly had to rescue the club from debts of €192,000. They have now handed over a healthy company to Peak Six, who have 25% of Bournemouth and a substantial stake in AS Roma as well, and one of the American co-owners has a small stake in Swansea City. It does make you wonder if there will be a feeder club for any of those teams. Speaking of Ireland, Irish international striker John Walters has struggled with injuries since signing for Burnley in the summer and is now being hit with another one that may require keyhole surgery on his knee and rule him out for up to 2 months. The 34-year-old was interested in a move away in the January window, but it now looks like that hope has died. A quick transfer roundup now, as Paul Lambert has made his first signing since taking charge at Stoke City with the loan of Greece international defender Kostas Stafylidis from FC Aalborg until the end of the season. Apologies for the pronunciation there. Liverpool youngster Marco Griech has joined Neil Warnock's Cardiff City on loan for the rest of the season. I personally am not sure that Neil Warnock's hit 'em hard and hoof it long policy will be suited to training him ready for a return to Liverpool. Some permanent deals saw Adam Forshaw leave Middlesbrough for £4.5 million to join Leeds United, And one-time Premier League big boys target George Cooper has left Crewe Alexandra to join Peterborough United for an undisclosed fee. At the age of 17, when he burst on the scene with Crewe, Cooper had all the Premier League teams looking at him. The Posh will be hoping he can replicate that form for them. And finally, in transfer roundup, QPR right back Michael Petrasso has returned to Canada to sign for MLS side Montreal Impact after 6 years with QPR. Petrasso is a Canadian international who came through the Toronto FC Academy initially. And finally, Darren Ferguson, the son of Alex Ferguson, has been charged by the FA for bringing the game into disrepute. Ferguson had been asked in an interview about what he would like the FA to do with their poor officials in League One. Ferguson, with his tongue firmly in his cheek, had said he would like the FA to shoot them. Despite the fact that it was very much just a joke, he has been forced to apologise and now will face FA charges.